This is the Royals POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The Royals dropped Game 1 against the St. Louis Cardinals, and I'll break down what mattered most in tonight's Royals POSTCAST. I'm Chance Liebau, your host of post-game reaction to Royals games this season on the Locked On Royals channel and everywhere you get your podcasts on demand. Tonight we'll be breaking down the most important plays of the game, who stood out, and the topic you'll be talking about with your friends. Today's episode is brought to you by FANDUEL. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Head to FANDUEL. Get started as the Royals fall tonight in ugly fashion, dramatic fashion in the 11th inning to the St. Louis Cardinals. 5-4 the final score. Fifth straight loss for the Royals. I'll have to update the thumbnail here. Fifth straight loss for the Royals. And this one just wasn't pretty. They did not look very buttoned up tonight. I thought the at-bats were better against a guy in Dustin May who doesn't throw a ton of strikes. I thought that it was a pretty pedestrian outing from the bullpen. I just thought that there were so many squandered opportunities for the Royals tonight. They had multiple opportunities with the bases loaded, less than one out, had a chance to capitalize, and the bottom of the lineup just wasn't able to come through. The combination of Collins, Massey, and Isbell, who 2 weeks ago was the combination that was winning them games against the Guardians, or I guess that was a week ago. That combination just did not play very well tonight. They did not hit well at the bottom of the order. Even in the top of the 11th inning, runner on second, Lane Thomas has good speed. You've got two guys there that are good at getting, or have two guys there where their job is to move a runner over. Michael Massey puts two really bad bunts down on two really bad pitches, and then eventually does not move a runner over. Kyle Isbell was not able to do anything. Michael Garcia was not. The offense just right now is not clicking. It just feels like right now they can't do anything right. They're back to the same old ways that saw them struggle early on. They go 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. They leave 11 runners on base in total. I just thought tonight the offense was really a big struggle from the get-go. Dustin May's a guy that has had some better outings here recently, and he's a guy that can challenge you if you're a team that doesn't hit fastballs well. The Royals are that team that doesn't hit fastballs well. I thought that some guys put together good at-bats. I thought that, Salvador Perez tonight, I thought he looked overmatched multiple times. Bobby Witt Jr. looked overmatched a couple of times. Vinny Pasquantino put together better at-bats, but at the end of the day, they just didn't do enough. They didn't have clutch hitting. They didn't put the ball in play where they needed to. I mean, they are a decision from a first baseman, from Burleson. If Burleson goes home and gets the force at the plate when the bases were loaded and Collins grounds it to him at first, I believe it was in the 6th inning. If that happens, if he goes to the plate, we're looking at a Royals loss in regulation. They don't even go to extra innings. And the Cardinals, I think they're a better. Team than I thought coming into the season. I thought this team would just tank really, but they played a lot better. They've got some quality players. Their bullpen pitched really well tonight, but the offense for the Royals was the big issue. There was multiple opportunities for the Royals tonight offensively where they just didn't get anything going. I just think that the part of the lineup that was so successful during that winning streak was the bottom of the lineup. It was those three guys that we listed off earlier. Isaac Collins was on a stretch where he was, hitting 340 with a 560 slug, where Kyle Isbell was hitting the cover off the baseball, and where Michael Massey was hitting some really clutch plates. Clutch at bats. And those guys really have not carried any of their weight over the last couple of games. And I thought tonight, if you're going to take some positives away, I thought Carter Jensen and Jack Caglione had some really good at-bats tonight. I really was encouraged by what I saw from them, Carter Jensen especially. I think that right now they're looking better at the plate than they were 3 or 4 days ago. I thought they looked more comfortable. Jack Caglione still has trouble identifying which pitches to hit. He's still getting a little bit crossed up at the plate, it feels like, with his approach. But I thought that tonight the approaches were good. I thought that they took the right pitches. I didn't think they chased a whole lot against a guy in Dustin May who has the ability to force you to chase pitches. I mean, in total tonight, looking at Dustin May's outing, he only had a 31% chase rate, and most of it was on the curveball. I mean, they were not they were taking the right pitches against Dustin May, and they just did not put the ball in play very hard. St. Louis is a big ballpark. There was a couple of balls that I felt like were just kind of dying out there. Collins, the first time when he came up with the bases loaded, I thought that he put a really good swing on a ball middle that he should have, really capitalized on it and smoked out of the yard. And he just didn't get enough of it. Michael Garcia had a really rough night at the plate, and Garcia's actually been hitting really well right now, at least coming into tonight's game. He had been putting together much better at-bats. And Bobby Witt Jr., he delivers that clutch double in the 10th inning to at least put the Royals in a decent spot. But tonight the Royals finished with just 2 extra base hits, and one of them was a ground ball through the hole from Carter Jensen. The other one was a hustle double by Bobby Witt Jr. that the center fielder just fumbled with. That's where they're at right now. They did not put enough hard contact on the ball against the Cardinals tonight. Looking at the Royals' hard hit numbers for tonight, had to scroll through a lot of stuff on Savant. They totaled 14 hard hits against Dustin May, but they never really reached the alleys. They were all really, it felt like, flyouts right to center field. It just felt like they didn't have very much going for them offensively when they needed to, and that's been the story of the season right now for the Royals, and it continues to plague them. And tonight it did against the Cardinals as they lose 5-4. All right, let us know your thoughts in the comments. When we come back, we will talk about the bullpen, because I thought that the bullpen decisions were interesting tonight from Matt Quattrero, and we'll talk about that when we come back here on the Royals Postcast. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are here, and every possession matters. If you're looking to get even closer to the action, FanDuel has a great offer to get you started. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right, turn $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. I love using FanDuel during the playoffs because everything I need is right there in one place. You can check stats, trends, and matchups before making your picks, which makes the whole experience feel a lot more informed. It's a really easy app to navigate and makes playoff basketball even more engaging from start to finish. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, play your game. Today's episode is also brought to you by Rocket Money. If you've ever opened your bank account and thought, where did all my money go? You are not alone. Keeping track of subscriptions, spending, and bills can get overwhelming fast. That's where Rocket Money comes in, helping you take control of your finances all in one place. It automatically categorizes your spending so you can actually see where your money is going. And you can set budgets, get alerts, and stay on top of upcoming bills. It just makes everything feel more organized and gives you a clearer picture of your finances day to day. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Today's episode is also brought to you by Indeed. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, and inbox overflowing in the one position you still have to fill sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for sponsored jobs. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for. Skills, experience, location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Spend less time searching, more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire. It's a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. All right, let's talk about the bullpen decisions. I didn't love what they did from the bullpen perspective tonight. I actually thought that Matt Quattrero had one of his worst games as a manager, going away from Jack Caglione that early in the game when you had an opportunity late there where you probably could have used him. And Lane Thomas has been god awful this season against right-handed pitching. That kind of killed the momentum there for the Royals in the 10th inning where it felt like they might get some stuff going. And then the bullpen decisions. I was not a fan of going to Matt Strahm in the 9th inning. I would have gone with Lucas Ursig and just wrote it out from there. I understand the lefty-lefty matchups are important, but Matt Strahm has been in a real struggle here recently, and he obviously didn't look all that healthy on the mound. And then after that, you immediately go to John Schreiber and waste him on a pitch, just one pitch from John Schreiber. And then the game gets into the 10th inning. And what do? You go to Lucas Ursig. So you wasted John Schreiber and an opportunity there. And I'm not saying that John Schreiber is some world beater, but John Schreiber is a much better option than a fatigued Steven Cruz. And we saw that tonight. He didn't have his best command with the fastball, and it got him in trouble. I thought that going to Schreiber in the 10th inning, or sorry, the 9th inning, and then going to Ursig in the 10th was just, it wasn't smart. I understand that it's technically a save situation. Or I guess it would have been a win situation maybe there for Lucas Ursig. But in that situation, I just don't see the reason to use John Schreiber for just one pitch and then just go to Lucas Ursig. And then the bullpen stuff, I mean, going to Daniel Lynch that early, I thought that was interesting. I thought Nick Mears being used in the 8th inning was interesting when you have John Schreiber and Steven Cruz. I mean, I just thought that the bullpen decisions tonight, using guys on such a short leash when you have the opportunity to really stretch some guys out, and you kind of need to. They don't really have a long guy in this pen other than Lewinder Avila. They probably hope Stephen Kolek can do that. But I just think that right now the bullpen management, it's really tough because you've got a bunch of guys that are low leverage. We always call them low leverage turds. They're not guys that you can pitch in a game like this. I mean, Stephen Cruz going in the 11th inning, I'm probably higher on Stephen Cruz than most people are, but I even thought to myself, this is just not a good spot for him to be in. He needs to be in a low leverage situation where he can work on his command. And that's kind of a lot of guys right now. So while I'm putting a little bit of blame on Cotrera for managing the bullpen the way he did, I mean, I don't really have any like solutions that I would say, here's what you should have done, because at the end of the day, the bullpen's just not very good. They're bottom 5 in baseball in bullpen ERA. They continue to struggle to find the strike zone. John Schreiber still has more walks than strikeouts. A lot of the guys in the bullpen also are the exact same way. They have more walks than strikeouts. I can understand if you had a bunch of guys pumping high 90s, maybe even hitting triple digits, and they just can't find the zone. When you have a bunch of guys throwing 94 to 95 and they're struggling to find the zone, those are guys that are very expendable and probably need to be put out to pasture. That just cannot happen. You can't have it both ways. You have to either have strikeout stuff and have the ability, or not have the ability to command the zone, or you have to have the ability to command the zone and throw strikes, and maybe you just don't have that stuff. They just don't have guys right now that have the ability to strike guys out or to put the ball in the strike zone. That's two major issues right now for this bullpen, and I just don't think it's going to be something that gets solved like right away. So another rough loss tonight for the Royals. Their 5th straight loss. They'll go back tomorrow against the Cardinals. They get another righty, so we'll see Jensen and Caglione in the lineup. So hopefully the Royals, who have had more success against righties this year than lefties, are able to put one foot in front of the other and break this losing streak. But it just is it's starting to get a little bit tiring the way that they're playing right now. So totally understand the frustration from the fans. We're frustrated as well. But yeah, this is starting to get repetitive here, talking about bullpen struggles and an offense that just is not doing enough. So we will be back tomorrow. It's in the afternoon. It's an afternoon game. Royals and Cardinals, game 2, 1:10 first pitch. And we'll see you right here on the channel for another edition of the Royals Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network.